Okay, this is Aaron with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have to start off this video because I had some massive technical difficulties, and I didn't want to do the video over because it would take about 25 minutes to do another video, and then I have to edit it, and I have to make sure it's right. And I'm not editing things really because it just takes too long to go in and edit and change things. So this is completely live when I'm doing what I'm doing. So just to keep in mind here, when you're watching my video, the first 8 minutes, something like that, are going to be just fine, and then unfortunately the sound will be off. My voice will be ahead of the pictures about somewhere around 20 seconds. So please just keep that in mind, if you would, please. And I'm sorry about that, but I have no time to do another one. It'll be after 1 or 2 in the morning or something like that. So I just want to tell you this ahead of time. Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have another video I want to put out here. A lot of people have been asking me, a lot of subscribers have been asking me to put out videos, and my whole thing is I wait on the Lord, and I always think that's the best way to go. And when He kind of gives me a nudge, and when I'm able to, He won't give me a nudge while I'm working. But if He does, then I do what He tells me, whatever it is. I've done videos during my breaks and stuff. But like I said, I have a full-time job. For the ones who don't know necessarily, I work for a nonprofit. We help people with housing and things, and it's just a great thing. But I work pretty hard, and that's a full-time job. I cannot do this stuff very much during that time. I can only do a little bit of stuff during my breaks, or do some research, or whatever it is, or I'm waiting on the weekends or the evenings, of course. So just keep that in mind when and I want to get some information out to people, especially people in Hawaii. You're in Hawaii, the Big Island or the other islands, man, my heart goes out to you. It truly, truly does. I would not want to be there. I really would not want to be there for what's coming. So I just want to tell you right now, I'm praying for all of you. I'm praying for people on the West Coast as well. Around the whole Pacific Rim, basically, as well. I don't know the direction this thing is going to go, but it seems like it would go more easterly from the Big Island and hit the West Coast, kind of funneling out from there. But, I'm not an expert on tsunamis, so I'm just going to say, someone kept asking me to tell the areas affected, and I'm not an expert with that, so I haven't really mentioned it. But I will just say I'm thinking, Alaska, Canada, going down the west coast of the United States, going down into Mexico, going down to Central America, down to South America, will be definitely affected in some degree. But straight across, talking about Central America and California, probably up to. Anyway, it's just kind of get an idea of this. You toss a huge stone into the water and the Big Island, and you have this massive ripple that's going to go out from there and destroy most of the Hawaiian Islands, unfortunately. And listen, I don't like talking about this. I don't. I'm not going to give a lot of credence. I try not to give a lot of credence to the naysayers, but, someone can just disagree, and that would be it. But no, people want to call you a fearmonger and all that kind of stuff. And I know what's behind all that. And I've been rebuking some demons today as well. I'm kind of, I realize this is part of the territory, and that's fine. That's cool. So anyway, getting on with this update here. Look at this. We have Olivia, and we have, our good buddy Norman. No, I'm not kidding. Norman Bates is what I kept thinking about for a long time. Going to do a sucker punch here. This is ridiculous. I hate this stuff. I really do. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I care about you people all over the place, and Hawaii, especially West Coast, and then everybody, for what's coming. You have no idea, a lot of you, what's coming. I've seen it in visions and dreams, and I've seen evidence all over the place. I've been studying for about 3 years. If you haven't watched a lot of my videos, there's so much evidence that all this stuff's coming. It's ridiculous. And we're at the end of their time frame. These guys, these psychos, the Luciferian global elites, they will stop at nothing. This is about to all happen, and I just don't know the exact timing, but we're about there. I mean, we are about there. So it's all about making this massive tsunami that they've been planning for, with the Helena Slump East Rift Zone falling into the ocean off, the Big Island, and they're going to do that by a huge, by a NASA submarine that's sitting off the coast. They did this cover story. It's a complete lie that they're studying, really down bottom of the seafloor by this volcano and everything, Kilauea and everything, and for their mission going to the sea. In a moon off Jupiter. I mean, it's horribly ridiculous. I mean, didn't even go to the moon, and I show example after example on one of my videos. Can we really trust NASA, or can NASA be believed, or whatever it is? Proving that is the case. They did not go to the moon. They admit it. 2 different people for NASA, including Buzz Aldrin, admitted they didn't go to the moon. These people cannot be believed. So they are going to shoot a torpedo, or some kind of explosion is going to happen, and this is going to start. And we're talking about maybe the next few days, once this thing finally hits, and it really hits it with wind and everything. There's going to be rain, massive winds. When Lane hit, it was on the other side of the Big Island, basically on the west side of the Big Island, and a lot of the Big Island on the east side was basically sheltered from a lot of the winds. So this time we're going to be a lot of rain, a lot of wind, and it's really slowed down. It is slowed down to about 10 miles an hour. NOAA says 8. I've been clocking it. Maybe they're close. I've been really clocking it several times, and I keep coming in at 10 miles an hour. Okay, and by the way, NOAA, their last update was 11 a.m. Hawaii time. That is like 6 hours earlier, and they have not done an update since. I've been waiting for an update to see what they do and see what the next map is and how it's flawed from what their previous maps were, and their spaghetti model, the main one. And they're just so frustrating. They're leading people off a cliff, and they know it. The people in the upper management and upper leadership on that, they're part of this whole thing. They're going to lead people right off the cliff, and I'm showing you in my videos, you cannot trust them. Now look right here again, Olivia, and we have Norman right here. Now you can see right here this light thing going here, and it's turning and spinning Olivia, and then it lights up. The white in the center eye is lighting up, and right here is where it starts to really speed up. And now I'm talking about the spin of the wind speed, and the spin of the eye is really speeding up. They are using these pressure waves to basically speed these things up. And this thing was going very slow right here. Then all of a sudden, boom, it went from a 1 to category 3. And now I was waiting for their thing, but I'm just going to go out and say I think it's going to be a category 4 or a high category 3. Because this shows that they're manipulating this and they're spinning this more. See that? I mean, that's crazy. Now look out here. I'm a sister. When they maybe naturally start slowing down or something, they're spinning them and moving them as well at the same time in their direction. And I have much evidence of them moving these things. And also, like I said, where this thing starts hitting Norman is when it was basically a category 1. And as soon as the hour that it basically starts speeding back up, this thing is hitting it for hours and spinning it and charging it up, or this pressure wave is just spinning the inside. So this is crazy. You can see this happening. Okay, and then this is not going anywhere. This is going right back down. This thing's going right into Hawaii. We have no winds. We have no high winds breaking it apart like we did with Miriam. I'm learning that more stuff about these things as I go. But you can see this. This is pretty crazy. So I'm going to go to something else here. Okay, this is another thing I want to show you. I got a still shot hours ago. Well, it's been, about almost 2 hours ago. And showing them both rotating both of these at the same time. And again, this is all manipulated. As soon as they are they're slowing down, and then it starts to rev back up again. These things are spinning and dragging these things, spinning the inside. There you go. I mean, this is not anything other than that. And you're seeing these, I see these very light clear bands coming down from the north and south. This is, some experts are saying these are satellite inflicted, because, and then I've also shown the spiral that comes up from the Antarctica, which basically does some stuff as well, and then also the one that comes down from HAARP, which neutralizes these things, and I've shown that evidence in other videos as well. So I'm going to something else here. Okay, so this is where I want to kind of go over a couple more things that I shared before, but kind of add what we have currently. So, this was Monday, what they were showing at 11 p.m., their update, and where it was forecasted to go. So now I want to take you to where it is kind of right now, or just where it was maybe a couple hours ago, actually. And because it just lines up a lot better to show you that. So if you take this between 145 and 150, and it's right at the 20-degree north, roughly, where they're showing. So basically, I'm going to go at about the 1/3 mark here. And I'm going to show you contrasted to the other ones here. So at the 1/3 mark, we're about, this thing is what they kind of forecast. So it's about, it'll be about right here, roughly, okay? Draw a line kind of between those two. So just remember where that is, okay? So this is about 1/3 of the between the 145 and 150, about 1/3, or maybe 2/3 over. So 1/3 from this side. So just break it into thirds. So that's 3, 1, 2, 3. The 2/3 mark here from the right side over, or whatever. Okay, and then, so that was a couple days ago. Okay, now, remember, let's go over here again. 1/3. So we'd be right about right there. Okay, now remember, right here, they showed it right there, and that's where they originally said it a couple days ago. Okay, that's changed quite a bit. They've moved it over, and then they make you think that, hey, this hasn't really moved. This is what we predicted anyway, right? Now let's go back to the next thing. So now they're all the way down here. This is the 3rd. Now they're down here where it actually is. Okay, yeah, that's really hard to show where it actually is. That's very difficult. So they've moved from up here. Okay, we saw it over here. Right up here, see? Right there. See up here? Up here. Boom, down, boom, right down. Now that's where they were. Okay, so they're in air, so they should have been way up here, whatever. I mean, give me a break. I've shown consistently in all my videos, even though there are liars out there and people who make up stuff and use swear words and attack my subscribers and all kinds of stuff. It's very ridiculous. And I will delete every one of you. I'm tired of evil demons talking through people, and I would delete you if you act like that and act like fools. Okay, so here we are. That's what they're... Now look at this. Now it's actually right here where they kind of said it would be in this latest one, okay? Well, that's really difficult because that's where it's going. I mean, so we don't have any high winds here. If you look at any of these satellite maps, there's no high winds. This thing's going straight this way, okay? So that's where it is, and they were up here a couple days ago, okay? I mean, I'm showing how they're in air. They're not falling. Now, and what I want to also show, well, let's go to that right now. So this is one of the most current spots. This was about 2 hours ago, maybe a little bit more, because, I mean, these things are delayed quite a bit. We can't get real-time stuff, not really. I've seen some pictures that are a little bit more advanced, like right in here, and then I'm doing this video a little bit later than I wanted to, but it's just, I got to have a life, I got to eat dinner and all that kind of stuff. Got kids, got a wife, all that stuff. So, so that's where it is. I mean, this thing is just going boom. It's right on the line of kind of this point right here, This is going to impact this island. I mean, it really is. And the rest of them. I mean, so let me go here and let me just show you this as well. Okay, and here's another example. This is a spinning example of infrared. And here there's a third point, about a third right there. We've got a third, we got a third. Okay, it's right there, it's below. Again, they're saying, a couple days ago, we're going like that. Not even close. There's no reasons for that. I mean, and this is why, what I want to show you here is, as I learn more and I understand more about how this stuff works, and I have for a few weeks on some of this stuff, I'm adding more to my understanding, because I'm not an expert on this stuff, but I'm getting, I'm a quick study. So, look at this. This is all the different spaghetti models that they have to pull from. Okay, and look at this. It's all over the place. This is actual data. These are actually different spaghetti models that they pull from. Okay, and I have all the names and everything. And this is what they decide to go with. Okay, why? I mean, we're over here. Look at all these that are right here hitting Hawaii. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, are you kidding me? So, and I've seen, and I could have pulled another picture where I've seen them kind of like this. You know, they're like this. I mean, you've probably seen them too, where they're like this. And they're kind of going a similar direction, you know. And I can understand how they're like this, you know, somewhere up here. I mean, based on, you know, where the wind's coming at it, you know, from different directions or whatever, and different variables, what's going on with the lows and the highs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, really, that makes sense. Look at this mess. Are you kidding me? And then they're going to just arbitrarily pick that? Why? Okay, any of you people that think I don't know anything about this, I use logic and reason and all kinds of other stuff. And I have tons of other evidence besides all this that you rely on. And your apps, your Venture Sky, and your, you know, that have been proven to be wrong. And NOAA's been most wrong. I've proven it. I've proven it with Hurricane Lane, with Hector, Irma. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's just they're completely wrong. And I just showed you how they're wrong, you know, in just a couple days. Just a couple days. And so this is what I'm showing you here. Look at this mess. And then they somehow pick that. And I said there's no reason for them to pick that. In fact, there's more of a trend of these going down. A lot of these that are very closer to green than any of these. And most of these are going off in different directions, as you can see. I mean, and then these are the models that they use. These are all the models, highest predicted winds of all models. There's examples of the winds. I mean, at 105 knots, these were just predicting. That's 120 miles an hour. And we're at about 115. I think we're a little more than that. I think we're closer to 120. And we'll see what the last update, because I can't go out there. I can't go out to the hurricane and use my wind speed, thing that spins, and then test it. I can't fly out there. I got to rely on these people who supposedly do this stuff. And so we got to rely on them. And so the problem with that is they're in the bag of the people who have the money and all the power. You got to realize that. If you don't know that by now, please realize that. I mean, really, I mean, what do you think? This is all just hunky-dory and governments for you in every way. I mean, that's just silly. Okay, that's just super silly. That's a dream. That's a dream. And I had that dream. I was in that dream for a long time. And then the Lord woke me up out of that dream and say, hey, this is really what's going on. And as I uncovered things and I looked at more things, I saw the reality. It was kind of scary, and I realized that's why most people don't, you know, turn over the rocks and see what's underneath, because there's a bunch of little critters in there, and it's kind of scary. So they're just happy with it, the way it looks on that surface, and they deal with that. And I have videos on that as well. There's one video which has very little views compared to all my other videos, and it's about the way things really are, and how the families who, I mean, this has all been proven. I mean, I have quotes from all these people. I have video of them saying all this stuff. There's books. They've written their own books claiming all this stuff. I mean, it's not that hidden. It's not that hidden. Okay, so these are the different ones right here. You know, we got the different spaghetti models that they base this stuff on. Okay, so that is turned into that. And one option, see, what they could do, see, this is what they should do for people. They should say, hey, this could go here, it could go here, it could go here. Okay, keep in and say, hey, you know, if it goes here, you might want to have this plan, this plan, this plan, and this plan. But no, they always say, oh, it's definitely going there. Like I said, how can you trust them? This is what the models are showing. Let's go back over here. I mean, are you kidding me? Look at this. What a mess. Hawaii, Big Island's right there if you couldn't see it. What a mess. Again, I've seen others that they look similar direction and all that, spaghetti models, and then maybe once in a while one goes up like that. But then you can say, oh, God, here's the trend. You know, I mean, are you kidding me? Use your brain. Use logic. Use reasoning. And please, use the Spirit of God would be best, because that's even better than that, because the Spirit of God and Spirit of the Lord can actually show you things you can't see on your own. That's the whole point. Okay? So I'm going to show you one more thing here, and we'll leave it at that, I think. So here we go. Wow, I'm kind of blown away. I predicted it. I said 120 miles per hour, and they just put this thing up. They just put this thing up. I mean, it's just crazy. There's 120 right there. It just disappears. I hate that one. Okay, here, let me hold it over there. 120 right there. I just said that. And I was looking at the models, and they were saying 105 knots, and I just showed you those. They just put this up. I mean, look at this. It's 5 p.m. There we go. Look at my time, 9:10. It was actually delayed a bit that it showed up on their website, but they said 5 o'clock. No, it wasn't 5. Well, maybe it was when I was doing this video, actually. Okay, but I didn't have it go. I didn't see it, and I just predicted 120 mile per hour winds. So it's a high 3. It's a high 3. Okay, so there we go. And like I said, I can kind of predict their script, and the reason why it's going up, and it was way back over in the evening last night, it was just 80 miles per hour. And the reason why is because I saw how they're manipulating, and those bands were speeding it up, and I was showing you that, how they're spinning them. And at that time, right as it started picking up, is when that happened. Okay, so here, I'm going to show you one more thing, and we'll end this thing. Okay, so here's one of the IR. They call it IR2. Okay, and I'm going to have a link to these options in the description box so you can see this yourself. I don't know if that anybody else does this. So I'm going to put it in my description box. You can click on this, and they'll give you some different options about different parts of the Pacific, and you can see this in different forms, and the animated here. So look at this. Okay, so this thing is going across, and it's been going kind of up, down, up. Okay, and that's going up a little bit, but it's basically, so if this thing won't take a right angle turn. Okay, it's going to keep going this way. There's no shear hitting this. It's creating all its own winds. Okay, and it's going to go for Hawaii. Even if it were to kind of go up a little bit, it's going to hit Hawaii. I mean, look how wide this thing is. This thing is at least 700 miles across. I mean, this is whole thing. This 350, this 350. If you do all the bands here, and this thing is getting a little bit bigger, as you can see. Look at watch this thing inflate. Look at that. I mean, I think it's going to be, I think my prediction is probably going to be a category 4. Maybe even a 5. I would say more like 4, but maybe even a 5 by the time it hits Hawaii. It is going 10 miles an hour. Actually, I haven't checked real recently. It might be going back down to 8. And this is kind of the plan. They want it going super slow, so the winds just knock the heck out of things, and there's plenty of rain. And so then they can definitely have an excuse to blow the Heleina slump and cause this mega tsunami I'm talking about. So mark my words, this will happen, whether it's this one or it is Olivia. Olivia's coming right on the heels of this thing a few days later. I mean, so I think that's just cleanup. And to make sure that, whatever's left over. I mean, I hate to say this is ridiculous. I hate all this stuff. I really do. The only reason I do this stuff and spend my time doing this is because the Lord wants me to share with people, the believers and people who are open to hear what's coming. And so when it happens, He's told me this, and I'm like, why should I do this, Lord? Why? He says, well, mainly because when it happens, you can show them ahead of time, and they'll know I told you this, and they'll know that this is real. Okay? And I don't want to do it. I mean, literally, there's many times I'm arguing with him. I'm like, why me? Why am I doing this? I mean, I don't want to do this. I just want to live my life with Him and help others. And I've been helping people with addictions and all kinds of stuff for years. And it's very rewarding. And I am able to help people with that and other things that I do. And with my family and other people and everything and friends. I don't want to do this. But you know what? My heart is moved by Him to do this. And as I do this more and more, I am convinced of what He's showing me and what He's saying. And so we are in the Ark Dream. You see, watch that video that I have. We're in my Ark Dream. It is crazy. We're there right now. This thing is going to happen. We're almost there. This is crazy. So I'm showing you this, and I just pray to God and my Lord Jesus Christ that He's able to save as many as possible from all this calamity and these evil people, these evil men and some women that are doing all this. This is wicked, wicked stuff. And I do not want millions of people killed. Do not want it. Okay? So, you question me all you want. I don't care. I'm doing this for all the people that could be saved. So, this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.